How's it going, everyone? My name is the Dark Reviewer. That's right, I'm changing up my name, shortened it actually, to just the Dark Reviewer because every review I need is not just going to be about anime anymore. So, yeah, I know it's been a while. I was busy with school and getting all my stuff taken care of so I can do this video. And I do have a surprise for you guys. This review is now going to be about It. Oh, hold on. No, not that one. Not that piece of shit, cheesy 90s one with Tim Curry. I'm sorry. No. This is what we're talking about. Now, to kick things off, now we have to talk about Stephen King's most recent horror film, It. It was done 20 years ago in the 1990s with Tim Curry as the big actor for Pennywise. And when I heard about the It reboot, I didn't really know about it. I mean, come on, would you really think this looks scary to you?
Do you have Prince Albert in a can? You do? Well, you better let the poor guy out.
Yeah, I didn't think so. So when I heard about this remake, I honestly didn't know if I wanted to go see it or not. But then, surprisingly, it scored a tremendous high budget in the box office opening weekend. It broke records. And for 2 weeks straight, it held up to its mantle of $216 million in the box office. And I was just like, okay, I've heard good things about this. It's doing really, really well. I'll give it a try. So yeah, I actually just saw it on Sunday night. Yeah, it was only just a few days ago. So I was in the theater. It was still pretty packed. Of course, it was the second weekend it came out. And boy, was I surprised. I enjoyed it a lot more than I thought I would. Just when I think back on the original one, this is so much different. This is like a totally new story. It doesn't have the flashbacks anymore, which is, thank God, those were unbelievably annoying. It actually just stuck with the kid's point of view story. It just stuck with that to the entire 2 hour and 15-minute movie. That's right, it was 2 hours and 15 minutes. If you think back in the miniseries, that was like 3 hours long. But anyway, now that I'm back and I'm here to give the next review, let's go ahead and dive right into it. Now then, it is about this one clown that is terrorizing the city of Derry, Maine. Yep, I know, it takes place in Maine like every other Stephen King film does. He has like a fetish with that place, I don't know why. But when we see this opening scene, it was downright disturbing. I mean, the original one had it was made in the 90s, so it had like some cheesy effects. It had like some cheesy dissolve things, scene changes when Georgie ends up dying by Pennywise. This one actually shows you Pennywise biting on Georgie's arm and ripping it off and dragging him down into the sewers. And I was like, well, this got intense and quick. But that's what people wanted. This actually was meant to be taken literally scary. I'm sorry, no. I'm sorry. Every time there's a horror movie of Stephen King, there's 3 words that come to mind. Stephen King film. None of his movies are ever scary. They're not. None of them are. You could think that Jack Nicholson's The Shining is scary. No, that's downright hilarious. The same with Tim Curry's It. It was absolutely fucking balls out funny. And believe it or not, yeah, I was in the theater at certain scenes. I was laughing because You try watching a scene like that and not laugh. I mean, for example, we had the whole famous You'll Float 2 scene from the 2017 It, when Georgie, or the personification of Georgie by Pennywise, because he's feeding off Bill's fear, which is losing his brother. He says, "You'll float too," and I have to admit, the CG was really good with that scene. How Georgie's face went from normal all the way to be rotten. I was like, wow, that was actually a really good effect. But then, just Pennywise just comes out of the water and just goes all, ah! And it's like, oh man. Oh, I'm sorry. That scene is just so funny. It is. I even had a friend with me, and she was right next to me, all like, "Ooh, that's scary." And she's looking at me, and I'm laughing hysterically. She asked me, "What's so funny about that?" And honest to God, I just said, "Because it is." The clown is just going all just running like a madman all the way towards him. How can you find that not to be funny? How could that not be funny? I mean, to be fair, a lot of the jump scares are really creative and really well done. My personal favorite, it probably had to be when Mike, the only black guy in Maine, the only black kid in Maine now in this version, when he sees Pennywise for the first time, that one actually got a little bit of a jump scare out of me. I was watching that scene. Mike is coming up to the butcher shop. We hear like a breeze behind him, and the chain's like moving back and forth. And all of a sudden, just bam! The door just creeps open, and then there's like this glow and smoke are coming out. And I was like, "You better move, kid." But then, I kid you not, look at this. Just look at this picture. Look at this picture. How could this not be a reference to The Walking Dead? This is my question. How is this not a reference to The Walking Dead? Do you see that? That's literally Walking Dead. But the door opens. Getting back to the scene, the door opens, and you see or hear the sheep getting killed, and we see it on a butcher's hook, those meat hooks that they always hang the meat on, and it's like it could have been. It looked like it was getting eaten. It sounded like it was getting eaten, but then it turns into Pennywise, and he just jumps down, and the whole like plastic sleeve doors that you see when you walk into like an ice rink or you walk into an actual shop in the freezer. There's always these plastic like blinds or something like that. But my God, that was a really good shot they did. Pennywise just jumps down, looks up, his eyes start glowing. He's just all. So the camera just zooms, like just dollies in. I'm pretty sure on like a fast track system, because that's what I'm pretty sure they used. It's just right up there, and then we hear a car horn, and I'm like, whoa, Jesus. That one scene actually got a little bit of scared out of me. My spine was crawling. That was a disturbing scene. And a lot of the film was. A lot of the makeup effects were really well done. Especially when like a bully goes down to the sewer and then he sees these like dead kids. It's like, I know that it's probably made up and the clown Pennywise is just projecting him as an apparition, but it just looks so real. It just looked like they're really decomposed. It was unbelievable the amount of work that went into this film. And the actors themselves, a lot of the kid actors were really, really good. I mean, granted, half of them were probably from Stranger Things. I guarantee, I bet you $5 they were. But yes, the cast itself was perfect, especially the new guy who played Pennywise, especially him. He just took this character and gave us what we saw in Heath Ledger's Joker, but cranked up the crazy factor. So he'd be downright disturbing. He even said in an interview, in one scene, he actually made one of the kid actors, cry and like just scared out of his mind. And when the director yelled "cut," he literally looked at his partner and like, "Are you okay? Are you okay?" And I was like, "Whew." If the cast thought that was real enough, the actor himself actually had nightmares for 2 weeks after the finished shooting, because he did the character that well. And a lot of people think that he could be the next Joker. I wouldn't mind that. He did such an amazing job with Pennywise. I would actually like him to see the Joker. But unfortunately, we get Leonardo DiCaprio. Yay about that. But anyway, just the story itself is kind of similar in the whole aspect of the original. It is similar in a way. There are some differences that they made to the film, like some of them are pretty effed up. Like, they actually talk about Beverly's father actually molesting her. I was like, eesh, dude. But then, of course, in any typical horror film, I'm sorry, just horror films just don't do it for me anymore. They used to be creative, and the latest creative film I thought had really well done jump scares was The Conjuring. That had a really good jump scares. That was really creative in how they did the cinematography and how it was edited. Some of the jump scares are really, really good that I didn't see coming. This one had a few jump scares you knew were coming. And this may just be me, but it's true though. A lot of the jump scares, I knew they were coming. Like, for one scene, Will is in the Jewish temple, and he goes up to the study because he can't read the Torah for his bar mitzvah, so his teacher sends him up to the room and has him study. But then I hear a painting drop. I'm like, gee, I wonder what's going to come up. Is there going to be no picture in the painting? He flips it up. Yep, no picture in the painting. He sets it back on, and let me guess. Just correct me if I'm wrong. Is there not going to be a spirit holding a flute in the picture and just going to show up and be all creepy? Yep, that's right. It is. I mean, some of the jump scares were actually shown in the trailer, and it's just doesn't scream that jump scare you mean, you know? I mean, granted, it was good enough that they didn't overuse the balloons like they did in 1991. That was just, how many times are you going to use the balloons? They're not that scary. I mean, if you use like one here and there, then yeah, that would set up the mood. That would set up a like an ambience atmosphere. That would be nice. But no, the 1990s one was like, balloons here, balloons there, balloons fucking everywhere. I'm like, what are you guys, high? That's not that scary. But in this version, they actually limited the amount of balloons they used. I mean, yeah, for one scene, Pennywise is holding up a lot of balloons, and he just lifts up and he smiles, but like, still doesn't scream scary to me. Not unless you actually have the balloon go up like slowly to the camera, then pop! Out there's Pennywise. Yeah, probably saw that in the trailer too. In fact, yeah, you did. You saw that in the trailer like multiple times, so that's not really a jump scare. But going back to how they introduced Pennywise, I mean, holy crap. This Pennywise is so much different than the other one. I mean, yeah, Tim Curry is a lot of fun, and he's a really, really good actor. He's always fun to watch. But this guy, I had no idea who he was. I had no idea what he was going to bring to the character until I saw this film. And boy, he made clowns scary. A lot of people in the audience who I was sitting next to, they were all like jumping and screaming. But sometimes it was funny. Like I said, with the whole like They'll Float 2 scene, that was funny. I mean, it could be treated scary, but I just found it funny. But of course, there will be like certain scenes that are cheesy and dumb, and yeah, I'm just like, what about not telling the officers in the town? Like, what? Is everyone in this town fucking crazy? And I was like, just what's with these parents being like fucking nutballs? They molest their kids. They treat them like the outside world is poison. Like Stan, the kid with the inhaler, his mom is so overprotective. It is absolutely messed up. Just, that is not okay. That is not healthy. And she twists his mind to thinking these little placebo, those sugar pills that people take, it's like medication. It's not. And as soon as he finds out, he's like, fuck you, Mom. That's right. Yeah, I was, not to mention I wasn't really a fan of the kids cursing and all that. There was a lot of moments when the kids said fuck a lot. And I'm just, come on, these are little kids. You don't want little kids in the audience saying fuck. Not to mention, they did pull a little bit of the sexy area when they go cliff diving, and Beverly shows up and ready to cliff dive in her bra and underwear. And I was like, okay, we're going there. But, and I'm sure, and just wrapping this up, I know it's because I actually have to go to work pretty soon. Just wrapping it up, this film gives you what you want. It is a really well done film. I'm not really a fan of much horror films, but this one actually makes it up to one of my favorites now. It was that good. I mean, yeah, like I said, there are certain scenes that are kind of cheesy, kind of dumb. Some of the dialogue is kind of meh, but the story was really well done. I really think the casting was good, and Pennywise is even scarier than we thought he would be, especially when they did the dead light scene. It wasn't just like strobe light seizure fest. It was actually, he opens up his mouth and there's actually millions of teeth in the back row, and there are his dead lights. And I was like, whoa, that was a really good effect. But the actor, I really, really think he did a really good job. And if this film might not get an Oscar, I'm doubt it will. I mean, Hollywood hasn't been that kind of horror films lately. I don't think they have been at all. But it comes down to the verdict. The whole verdict of this film, I give it a B+. It, like I said, there are some flaws, but it is a really well done story. It is a well done product. And I'm sure most people knew it's a book, so this one, it ends in chapter 1. So we're probably going to get the adult version probably in either next year or 2019. And a lot of people think that Chris Pratt and Morgan Freeman might do it. I don't know. We'll see. I have hopes for the adult version because I really enjoyed this version. I mean, the last one was just like, God, the adults were terrible. It was like so melodramatic. The plot makes no sense. At least in this version, 2017, they actually stuck to the actual source material and moved the story forward instead of going back and forth between present and past. Whew. Sorry about that. But yes, the whole idea is that you'll get what you want. And if this is the horror film you are looking for this year, definitely go see it on Halloween because it's a really high up there in the box office. It'll probably be out there for another few months. And who knows? Maybe I will go see it again on Halloween, just because it's Halloween. I want to see a horror film on Halloween, but we'll see what happens. Anyway, guys, again, and I am sorry about that. I'm sorry about the whole waiting this long to get me to start my next review, but don't worry. The next review should come out, or reviews now should be coming out every other weekday or weekend as soon as I get the editing, as it takes me a while to edit these videos. So yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. I'm the Dark Reviewer, and you guys have a good rest of your weekend.